Okay, so last time we made a tier list on basically who I would pull for and who I'm like not really gonna pull for unless, well, they're like the only options left. And this time we're gonna be going over basically a free-to-play tier list. This is my own personal opinion. I do not have a lot of these 5 stars, and I don't even have her. I actually really don't have her. A lot of them I don't have any experience on, like Farazan I don't really use at all. She's not leveled up. Domo's not leveled up. Goro, none of these are leveled up. A lot of them aren't. So all I did was do a little bit of research and basically just put my opinion on it. So feel free to disagree or tell me, like, for example, like let's say you want Diha, you think she should be higher, Farazan should be higher, or let's say Hazo should be lower. So yeah, feel free to let me know what should go higher, what should go lower, or just your own opinion on what you think. I'm not going to be going over the full tier list like each individual character. I'm just going to be going over a few of the S tiers, a few of the A tiers, and why I put them there. Same for B and C. These three, obviously, I don't know. They're not even released yet. But I am actually pretty down to pull for them. Well, you're questionable because you're having the same rerun as Yelan, the same banner, so a little questionable if I'm gonna pull for him or not. So I'm only gonna go over a small handful and you just let me know what you think. So I put the obvious ones up here: Kazuha, Kokomi, Zhongli, Xingqiu, Xiangling, Shogun, Alhaitham, Yelan, and yeah, these guys, they're just overall good characters. Same for Bennett, Fischl, they're just overall really good characters. They're used in, or they can be used in many different teams. And they just do a lot. Like Kazuha can provide control. Same thing for Venti. Well, we know Sucrose can do the same thing, but Kazuha, Venti, I think they can do it better personally, especially Venti, over Sucrose. And I've heard people say, like, just use C6 Sucrose over Kazuha, or C6 Sucrose is the same as C0 Kazuha, but let's be honest, how many of you can actually get or actually have a C6 Sucrose? So it's much easier to get a C0 Kazuha, even if it takes forever to get his rerun. So we'll just roll with that. It's harder to get a good Sucrose than a good Kazuha. Now as for Nilu, Nahida, of course our Traveler. Nahida can be used in many different teams. She can be used in Electro teams, Hydro teams. You can make her do Bloom, Hyper Bloom, Quicken, Aggravate, a lot of stuff. And Nilu's here. Now, I get it. Her teams are pretty niche and pretty limited, and she can only really belong in Dendro Hydro teams, but she's really good at it. And she does so much damage that she can pretty much handle anything, except for the ones that are immune to like Dendro, because obviously Dendro cores. So yeah, that's the only thing she can't really handle. But aside from that, she can do pretty much anything, which is why over here I am a Nilu main. Wasn't even expecting that, to be honest. I really didn't expect myself to be a Nilu main. She's not even my favorite character. I just like her as a character. But her playstyle is just fun for me, so I'm using her. Same thing for Traveler. I would say that she's very free to play or he, depending on who you're using, because you can just fit her in many different teams if you wanted to. Of course, there are better options out there, but if you need someone, they're just always here. If you need like Animo, of course her Animo is not the best, but if you need one, there you go. You need, okay, let's be honest, no one uses the Geo one. But if you need Electro for some reason, like if you don't have like Fischl or something, then sure, she can do that. If you need Dendro, her Dendro is really good. So yeah, if you Dendro Traveler, if you don't have a Dendro character or you need another Dendro character in your team, there you go. Kokomi, a lot of people say better Barbara, which is pretty much true. But her Hydro application, so much better. Her healing, so much better. All of these are rather easy to build also. So yeah, easy to build, can be put in many teams. Or as for the DPS, like Ayaka, who else is a DPS here actually? Al-Haytham, I'm just gonna say. Um, of course, they can't be fit in like many different teams, but their damage potential is so good that it's okay. And you can put them in way up here. Like Ayaka, people literally complain that she's too strong. Because she can like literally one burst anything. You put Bennett, where's Bennett? You put Bennett in the team. You put another person who can buff like Mona. Where's Jean? You can put Jean on the team. You can one burst any team. You can one burst any boss. So yeah, her build's rather easy. She has a really good free to play weapon. So yeah, she's just really good. And people complain about it. Same thing for Zhongli. When people see Zhongli, they just immediately think that the game is easy. And it is, but they make it look like it's a lot easier. Because if you have Zhongli in your team, let's be honest, you're not gonna die. You're not even gonna get hurt. His shield cooldown for his skill regenerates faster than his shield can get broken. So yeah, you're not dying with Zhongli on your team. And I am gonna be pulling for him the next time he gets his rerun, just so I can let that happen. And again, people complain of the good characters, so that's how good they are. People complain about them, they don't want to use them because it makes it easier. Like, I've even heard some people say that they don't want to use the Dendro element specifically because Dendro is too overpowered. And I get their reasoning, but just do it. It's not gonna hurt you. Same thing for Shogun, Yaimiko. Yaimiko can be used in many teams. Shogun, again, can be used in many teams, can be a DPS, sub DPS. Electro Applicator, same thing for Miko. Venti, there for crowd control. And again, I personally think he's better than Sucrose. That's just me though. Diona, this can be arguable, but she can shield and she can heal. She's also very easy to build, so I think she belongs up here. I mean, I'm literally sharing the same artifacts as Bennett, which kinda sucks because I use both of them. I want to use both of them in like Spiral Abyss in 2 different teams, but I can't because I don't have a second artifact set for them. And yeah, I have to stick with like Nilu Bloom with either Ayaka Freeze or just a team with Bennett, you know? So it's kind of hard when you don't have an artifact set for both of them. At least that's my own personal problem. And I can blame Eula for that because her artifacts are being very stubborn with me. My artifact luck, not there. Yelan, we all know how Yelan works. She's very good. If you used her in like some of the character trials from past events, she is really good. She's a very good DPS, sub DPS. Her Hydro application, really nice. And she's very easy to build. Literally. Apparently all you need is HP. So yeah, that's really good. And she can be compared to Xingqiu as well. Or Xingqiu can be compared to her. So that's why he's up here also. So if you don't have Yelan but you have Xingqiu, there you go. Who else maybe questionable. Xiangling, I don't really think I have to talk about her too much. You get her at the start of the game, after you clear like Spiral Abyss or something, a few stages, and she can pretty much carry you throughout the whole thing without a single 5-star. So Xiangling, overall really good character, still really strong, and again, really good free-to-play weapon. Same thing for Raiden Shogun. They can both use the catch, which no one likes fishing, but just do it. It's not that bad. When I first heard about the fishing process from others, they made it sound like it was a pain, but it really wasn't that bad. Kirara, now this one can also be very questionable. Same thing for Kuching. I don't really know how to build her, but I've heard she is very simple to use. So, Kirara, her shield's pretty good. She's good for traveling. And her Dendro is really not that bad. She's really easy to build too. So, yeah, I think she belongs up here, personally. And Shinobu, we all know how Shinobu works, right? Her healing is insanely good, especially for a 4-star. Her Electro application is really nice also. So, there you go. If you need an Electro and you don't have like Miko or Shogun or for some reason Fischl, there you go. If you need a slot for like a support character and you don't have a healer, there you go. Now who else is kind of questionable up here? I think everyone else up here is okay. Now A tier, these characters are still really good, but their uses are a little more limited than the top tier. Or there's like better options, slightly better options, you know? Like, for example, Sino. You have these two. You literally have these two. I know, Kuching's over here. Like, people can say Sino's better than her. But I've just seen a lot more Kuching than Sino. So, I'm just gonna leave it at that. You can argue about that though. Yoimiya, again, really good DPS. But her team's very limited. And, well, Hu Tao exists. I personally think Hu Tao is a better DPS than Yoimiya. That's just me though. But Xiangling's also here. Very free to play. So, whichever one of these two you want for Pyro. I mean, isn't this guy Pyro also? Pyro Bow. So, if you want, we'll just pretend that he's up here. So if you want to choose between the Pyro DPS, these three, pretty good option. If you have a D-Luke, then there you go. He's not bad. He's really not that bad. But there's just way better options. I would rather use Yanfei than D-Luke. And that's actually saying something. Eula, again, team's very limited, but she's very strong. Kaya, again, same thing. Team's very limited. I consider him to be a Cryo Xingqiu in a way. Mainly because of how his burst works in a weird way. It's kind of similar. Wanderer, I wanted to pull for him, but I found more uses for... Or no, not more uses. More like, I kind of just wanted Eula. You know? I wanted Eula, and I found more uses for Kokomi. Way more important character than Wanderer. But if you want Anemo, you want an Anemo DPS, there you go, Wanderer. He's a very strong character though, so that's good. He can fly, and yeah, he's very strong. His team's rather simple. If you have a C6 Faruzan, then there you go, perfect. But let's be honest, not everyone has a C6 Faruzan, which is why his teams are a little bit iffy. Child, I haven't really seen too much of him lately, but Hydro character, and it seems like Hydro is one of the most important elements out there because they usually have the best reactions, like Bloom, Hyper Bloom. Those are usually like the best teams. Freeze, same thing for Ganyu. People complain about Ganyu, not because like she's too good or anything like that, because there are better. But mainly because she's extremely boring to play for people. I personally have fun playing with her. So, yeah. But her teams, let's just say you can just use Ayaka. Like, between these two, I would use her. I have both. But I would personally use Ayaka over Ganyu damage-wise. Reason 1, she's a lot easier to build. And reason 2, her free-to-play weapon is a lot more accessible. Ganyu does have a good free-to-play weapon, but I would much rather like have her use a 5-star weapon. It's good, but not too good, you know? Same thing for Shenhe. She literally mainly belongs in cryo teams, so that's why she's up here. She's good though. Really good for cryo teams, but that's pretty much it. The rest of them pretty self-explanatory. Chao, if reasons the same as Wander, very limited uses, but they're good at what they do, which is DPS. Ave, if you want Dendro, Dendro is just a really good element. There's really no bad Dendro character. Even Baiju can be very usable. But again, there's Yao Yao to fill in for the healing. And there's just way better options overall. Kirara for shielding. Baiju, little iffy. Kaveh can pop Dendro cores. Very easy to build. Dendro characters are overall very easy to build. Kainari, pretty much the same thing. Easy to build, but since he's a DPS, or sub DPS, whatever you want to call him, I've seen some sub DPS, so yeah, I'm gonna call him a sub DPS also. Very good character. I actually really want him. If I lose my 50-50 in a hopefully not too important banner, like Kokomi and gave me D-Luke, I want to lose my 50-50 to pitching, Kainari, even Jean, and of course I wouldn't mind more Mona constellations because C0, I would like a C1 just to have it, but yeah, those are the characters I don't mind losing my 50-50 to because I will actually use them. Sino, I already mentioned a little bit about him. Now for B tier, these characters, they're just, let's just say they're just there. They're good options, like let's say Barbara, if you don't have a Hydro healer like this was my team before. Nilu, Nahida, Dendro Traveler, Barbara. Barbara carried me pretty much throughout the whole story as my main healer. So thank you, Barbara. She's not bad. The only problem is her Hydro application is a little iffy. You have to get insanely close to them. You literally have to hug your opponents if you want them to have Hydro. Her normal attack literally does nothing. So you're healing, very limited Hydro application. And Kokomi, I'm glad I got you. That's all I have to say about Barbara. Don't really know too much about Albedo, but I don't think he's a bad character overall. Same thing for Klee. Like, there's just better Pyro DPS. Hu Tao, Yoimiya, Xiangling's here too, you know? I would much rather use Xiangling as a DPS than Klee. Same thing for D-Luke. Same situation as Klee. I would much rather use Xiangling and any of these two over D-Luke. So, yeah. Poor D-Luke. So sorry. I'm probably never gonna build you, unfortunately. But these are pretty much the same situations for all of these. Because they're just better alternatives, but if you have them and you don't have like their better replacements, then by all means use them. They're not bad, they're pretty good. So just use them. Like Lisa, I'm thinking about building her. Rosaria, thinking about building her. Yanfei, I have her at C4, so I kind of want to make a tank Fei. I've always wanted to do that ever since I figured it out. So I want to try that once I'm done building literally everyone else I need. Bisho's not built, Xingqiu's not built, Eula's not built, Yaimika's artifacts are bad. Irara's not fully built. Iona, Bennett. There's a lot of characters I still need to work on. And the gap between the banners is not enough time for me. Especially if I'm just gonna keep pulling because I don't have the characters that I want yet. So sucks for me, right? But yeah, pretty much these characters in B tier, they're all usable. Like, if you don't want to use Dendro Traveler, Kale's here. You can use Kale instead. Or if you want, you can just use Yao Yao. In place of Kokomi, have a different Hydro, like Xingqiu. There's a good amount of options you can do. C tier, I'll be honest, these characters, very limited use. I'm just putting Baiju down here, mainly because, like I said, there's a lot better options. Yao Yao's better, Irara's better, and they're both Dendro like him. So, yeah, the only thing I would pull him for, the only reason I would pull him, is because he's a cool character. And just as a character, not as a playable character, like I would put him in a team, I would not do that. He'd probably just stay at level 20 at most, just so I can get that free wish. And if I have no one else to build, then I'll build him. Farzan, really only seen her in Animo teams. So, yeah, very limited. And her full potential, of course, C6, which honestly sucks because I like Farzan. She's cool. And she's pretty, as a character in the story, pretty fun. So, I wish I could use her. Mine is not C6. I don't have an Animo DPS aside from Hazo. And yeah, I would much rather build literally anyone else. But pretty much same situation for everyone here. There's better alternatives, better shield, better healing, and really only used for a physical team if you have him at C6. If not, then he's there. And just haven't really seen much. Diha, I wish he was better, but unfortunately, not really there. And you would much have your account would have a lot more value with any of these characters if you're free to play. If you're pay to win, or as Genshin players would call it, if you're a whale, literally just buy everyone, I guess. But yeah, Diha, if you're free to play and you lose your 50-50 to her, just don't build her. I'm pretty sure you have better 4 stars. But yeah, characters in S, A will have the best like value to your account if you have free to play, or if you are free to play. But overall, just pull for who you want. That's how you get the most out of this game. And luckily, a lot of the 5 stars are all really good. So you don't really have to worry about that. You just have to worry about winning your 50-50s. But Chi-Chi, no one likes her. No one even likes seeing her when they pull her. Ito, again, better options, way better options. Amber, Yoimiya, Dory. Who uses Dory? I don't even know what she's used for. I just never see people talk about her. Same thing for you. Noelle, better option. Sayu, what even do you do? I think you're a DPS actually, but you're Animo, right? Yeah, you're Animo. Wanderer, Shao. I would much rather use Animo Traveler. So there you go. Candace, there's way better Hydro characters out there. Toma, better shielding. Goro, I don't really know what he's used for, to be honest. Razor, better Electro characters, way better Electro characters. Like, just use Lisa, to be honest. And I don't even think she's a main DPS. So, just use her anyway. Use Kujo Sara, literally any other Electro character except for Dory, then Razor. So, let me know what you think. This is my take on how Genshin is right now, tier list wise for free-to-play players. So if you think some should be higher, some should be lower, let me know, because I am pretty open to this. I'm not the best at Genshin. Like, I still search up stuff, do a little research every now and then. And yeah, I even asked the comments to help me out with teams, because, well, I don't really know how to make good use of my characters. I literally asked for a Eula team, and my Eula team is literally Eula, Xingqiu, Aya, where is he? Aya, and who is my last character? I actually forgot. Yeah, I actually forgot. I know it's an Electro character. Official. There we go. That's literally my Eula team. And someone suggested it for me, so thank you. But this is my take on a free-to-play tier list. Most value, good value, a little iffy, but still pretty good. And here is just, don't build them unless either you have to or you just really want to. So hopefully, if you're free to play, this helped. And let me know if there's some things you would rather change, like some higher, some lower, or just your feedback on it overall. And with that, we'll see you next time, and let's see what we can do in Fontaine. I am honestly very excited for Fontaine. Let me put this guy back here. Very excited for Fontaine. I'm glad I can continue the story, and I will be showing off the story, just like I did for all of Genshin. I'm glad I finished in time also. So, we'll see you then. And let me know if there's any other tier lists you want me to make, because there are a lot of options. Let me actually go here. Yeah, look at that. There's a lot of options I can do here. And I can even just redo this and make it my own. So, let me know what kind of tier list you want to see in the future, and we'll see you next time.